what we're talking about today with our lovely host, with the most, Beetlejuice. We're talking about hay, the realities of moving hay. And as you can see, this is the end of a large round bale, which is no easy feat to move. It had to get worn down to this point before we could move it at all. So let's talk a little bit about round bales versus square bales. You're out of breath because you just moved it. And that's definitely reality. Pushing 40 degrees, lifting with all your might. And what's it like? What's life like with round bales?
I hate it. Well,
they're not movable by a person.
Round bales have their place. They're cheaper than square bales.
Right.
Overall, because it's about 10 plus square bales per round bale. This one was huge, like huge. It's really big and heavy. Because normally I can move a full round bale myself to roll it, and me and you could not. So it is a big one. Now, these are really great if you have a tractor or the ability to have them dropped in the field. Here.
Round bales. Yeah.
So yeah, if you have a tractor or the ability to get the round bale to where you want it to be, great, because it is a cost savings, 100%. But if you don't have any of those things, it is a pain, because I have to, which is what I'll end up doing probably right here, is stand it up on its end when I'm ready to use it, take off the webbing, ours have the netting, nut rope, and basically pull a chunk down and then just kind of walk around the round bale and unroll it, and then I have a nice, really compact roll. But when you have as many goats as we do, or sheep, I have to do that so many times. And then, like, you know, I have to do it probably about 10 or 20 times and take all of it. I'm covered in hay all the time. And it's just a pain. Where with square bales, you know exactly how much is in a square bale.
They come with convenient handles.
Handles. You know, I can move 2 on my own, or I can do 3 on a sled, and that's pretty much what I'm going through about a day.
They're really easy to store because they're square and you can walk them in anywhere.
Easy to move. Less waste.
Yeah.
I waste so much with these because I'm taking arm loads.
Right.
So when, like, if you look over here, you can actually see where it was, because you can see my trail of dropped hay.
Right.
All the way up to the house where it was. So, you know, there's a waste factor there for me. And it's
so the cost savings is actually probably minimal, realistically, with the waste.
With the waste that I have. Just because I'm not set up for rounds.
Right.
You know, eventually I hope to be, but I'm not right now. But I want this year's hay. This is what the guy has available. He doesn't have any squares. And
so I guess that'll answer that next question.
Yeah.
We don't like rounds. Why do we have rounds? Because sometimes it's all that's available. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I mean, I could get squares. They're a little not ideal right now. I've learned because someone else got them, and they have some like weed in them and stuff, which means they're not going to eat it. It's going to become bedding. It's just like the cost seems to be very fluid depending on when I ask or who's asking. This guy seems to be super awesome, but what I liked about this new supplier, because my current supplier last year couldn't supply me, he is great and he does the squares. I just haven't been able to get from him yet this year, but why I went with this guy, even though they're rounds, is because the last few squares of hay have been dairy quality. And if you know anything about dairy, you know, there's a lot of money spent to make sure that the nutritional requirements are met in those cows. They really invest in their fields for hay and haylage. They test it, you know, to make sure that it's meeting the nutritional requirements. So, like, getting dairy hay is just really nice.
Right.
And so this, I wouldn't say this is dairy hay. I actually think he might have gave me last year's hay, not this year's hay, because it's so brown. but whatever, they like it. It's goats and sheep. They're not picky. Like horses can be very picky. But yeah, I hate it, and unfortunately, I've ordered 3 more round bales because he doesn't have squares. So it's yeah.
So I guess it's not
hard.
even always about. So this homesteading reality was talking about square versus round bales, but let's talk about the reality of hay in general. There can often be a shortage, and getting hay can be a struggle.
So yeah, 4 years ago there was a drought here.
4 years ago. Okay, wow.
Well,
The ripple effect. Yep, go on.
You know, so 4 years ago, which is when we moved here, there was a shortage. I paid $6 a square bale. I ended up at near the end of the season just because you have to buy what you have to buy. Raising livestock is not something where you can be cost effective.
Right.
Like, you need it.
Yeah.
You can't not have it.
And you can't like buy it in huge bulk and store it forever either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, last year I started paying $6. My supplier ended up running out, and it was a drought, so people were not able to supply people. We had it shipped into Nova Scotia from Ontario and Quebec, and I think as far as Alberta, and I ended up paying $16 a square bale.
Wow.
And I go through 3 square bales a day. So that's what I did 4 years ago. We have a little bit more animals now, but and then fast forward to last year, it rained for 40 years basically, and no one could get on their fields and cut. So last year was hard too. So I've actually met so many more hay suppliers and farmers than I normally would because, hi guys,
They're drinking.
because I had to get it from whoever and
Right.
wherever. So it went up from, you know, I was paying $6 to at one point I was paying $13 plus delivery. So I think that worked out to $14 or $14.50 a square bale earlier here near the winter time. And now I found this guy, he'll deliver it for $7, or for these rounds, he does charge me a $40 delivery fee for these. But it just goes to show, like, you can't pick and choose. Sometimes you just have to get.
Right.
You can't wait. Like, goats can't be without their hay. They need their hay.
Right.
So, you know, you may not want to pay that $16 per bale because you use so much and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You have to. And that's the reality of it. If you're not creating your own hay fields, harvesting your own hay fields, you're at the mercy of the market, the willingness to deliver if you don't have a way to pick it up, which we do not. We don't have a trailer. You know, so you're at the mercy of that. And I think that is important to understand that, you know, while you maybe used to buy something for $5 or $6 a square bale, doesn't mean you can turn up your nose at this $13 square bale because you used to pay this and that's too expensive in your mind. You need it, so you have to buy it. It's an essential. So that's something that if you're going to get into raising livestock and stuff, grain and their feed is steadily increasing always.
Right.
Hay is, you know, for all the work that's put into it and the cost, like, I think it's pretty reasonable, and they don't often stop stealing my maples.
Are you eating our maple trees? Sorry. Intermission.
Intermission.
So we're on a farm. It's important that we see farm life when we get the chance.
Yeah,
Life
so
happens fast.
It's important to make sure that you can feed your animals and know that it's not always going to be cost effective when you make this jump. So, you know, if I needed to pay $20 a square bale and do 3 a day, I'd do it because I have to.
Right.
You don't have a choice.
Right.
Right? And then delivery fee on top of that.
Yep.
Maybe the delivery fee, maybe not. It depends. Because if it became a delivery fee, I'd probably get a trailer. But at the end of the day, you need it. And it almost seems like the suppliers are dwindling.
Yeah.
You know, and what I think that is probably an aging farming demographic. And,
Right.
And the youth aren't getting into it, or those families don't have the children interested in doing that 24/7, 365-day-a-year job. You know, so treat your hay people great because you need them. Basically.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. All right. Thanks for that. We got to get back to it because it's not getting any colder and we're going to die. So see you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that little video of homesteading reality regarding hay, rounds versus squares, although it did end up to be a talk about the reality of hay in general. But if you did enjoy that, please like and comment below. The reason I say that is because though that hay, we do rescue here and it's all funded through us. So it's those likes, it's those comments, it's that engagement that keeps these videos going. And it's these videos on YouTube that we're hoping we're going to be able to use as fundraisers for our animals going forward. We're not at that point yet. We're still working towards it. But if you can just like the videos, that's awesome. That helps us out so much. And it allows you to support animals by doing nothing more than watching YouTube. And I hope you're enjoying it anyway. You're already doing it. And thank you so much for joining us. It helps us so much. Once again, thanks a lot. And I can't wait to see you watching our next video.